This is going to be an update video for the 1967 Plymouth Satellite Magnum swap project. Today is February the 28th, 2017, and I got quite a few updates for you guys. Starting with this one. There it is. There's the 5.9 liter Magnum V8 pulled from the 1967 Satellite. This is the one that had the leaky freeze plug that had to get pulled because of it, and there it was. The zoner here on the very back of the engine, in front of the transmission, in front of the torque converter. This one was a bear to get to, so this one required an engine pull to get it. It was unfortunate, but it is what it is. There's the other. Well, so that was out. Went ahead and pulled them all. I'm gonna replace them all. Got all those. It wasn't that big a chore getting the freeze plugs out. I've never done them before, but it really wasn't as bad as I had anticipated. So while I was in the process of getting it pulled, had a little downtime. I went through comp cams, ordered a camshaft. This is the comp grind part number 20-000-9, in case you'll ever want to order one of your own for these 5.9s, even 5.2s really. This is a 224, 230 at 50 thousandths, 513 lift, and 112 degree of lobe separation. So it'll bump pretty good. That was a big one. My next one just came in today. Excited about this one. Here are the Engine Quest heads. These are the ones that I was looking for. These is the they were casted in New Zealand. I bought them from Jegs, and they were on sale. I bought them on Saturday. They might still be on sale with Jegs for today, and I got them for $280 a head. These are a good replacement in case your heads are cracked, which the heads that I pulled off my 5.9 originally before I rebuilt it and put in the Satellite, those heads were cracked. Set them up here on the bench. So these are supposed to be the improved flow designs, because they took the original castings and then just kind of made them better. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and machine out the intake valve. It's machined for the stock 192 valve. I think I'm gonna go up a little and do the 197 or the LS 2-inch valve. I heard they're quite similar. If that's not the case, I'll let you know. But I've been hearing that that's quite similar. They got good flow characteristics in those things. Boy, those are some good looking heads. Next update, there's the replacement 46RE transmission to replace my 46RH. The advantage of this one, it does have lockup, so that I can get the lockup converter to work. Next update I have is I ordered the torque converter today. The torque converter should be here in a few days or so, and I went with a 2600 stall. The company I bought them from was a company called Hypotech, and I got a Viper series with lockup, and it has the 2600 stall. The reason I went with that kind of stall is the cam that I got recommended at least a 2200 stall. And I talked to the guys at CompCam about it, and they suggested that 2200 would be good, but 25 would be better. For some reason, there wasn't a 2500 option in the Viper series, so there was a 2600. So I decided to go with the 2600 stall. We'll see how that pans out. It should be just fine. I'm going to go over a couple of updates on the car that I've never really talked about before, and one of which being the first ones right here on the floor are the cast iron exhaust manifolds that I chose to put on the car. A couple of articles I read show that these flow decent numbers, you know, similar to the numbers of a shorty header, maybe not quite as well, but I believe that the title article was manifold that flow like headers. You know, maybe not quite as good, but pretty close. These are the early magnum manifolds, and they have a 2¼ inch throat on the outlet, which is much larger than the 94-95 that this motor was, because it had 1 7/8 inches. So that was a real choke point. So I picked these up at the boneyard for next to nothing. So these are a good alternative. Plus, you know, there's a few advantages to running manifolds. For one thing, they fit in cars a lot better. You don't have to have worry about the warping of the flanges and your bolts constantly backing out. The only downfall is probably the ultimate flow and the possibility of cracking your manifolds. These have been nice and seasoned. They've been around since like 91 and they haven't cracked yet. So I think these are going to be a pretty good score for me to just hang on to. I'm going to go over to the car now and show you some stuff. Good light here. We'll go into the car for a minute. Start here. One thing I never explained is the rear end. This is a disc brake. So the car has disc brakes on the rear because it is a Ford 8.8 rear end. So it's a Ford 8.8 with 373 gears and posi traction. Now, I went with this setup only because of overall cost. It costs quite a bit of money to do a Chrysler 8 3/4, and you know, the availability of parts. If you know, if something was to happen, I could snag up one of these 8.8s from the boneyard pretty cheap and have it going again. A lot cheaper than I could afford a Chrysler 8 3/4. Another thing we're going to go over is the fuel system in the Satellite. This here is a Tanks Inc. Well, let's get the light here so you can see it. This is a Tanks Inc. and they refer to it as a universal tank, but technically it's like a 69 to 70 Mustang, and it's a high capacity 22 gallon unit with an in-tank pump built with a baffling in it. Now, I had at one time the filler over here. It did work when I had the old tank in it, but ever since I went fuel injection, you know, it didn't really work anymore. It's too tall. So I just popped the trunk. Let me get this thing hung up here. Okay. So I just popped the trunk and pull that little cap off and fill it up from there. It's not that big a deal. Okay guys, I think that's about all I got for right now. I'll show you the engine bay while I got it. Oh, you know what? There is one more thing I want to go over. And this is something that when I was looking to do this build, and I was looking all over the internet for it, and I'm going to share it with you guys. And this is the transmission cross member. When you do the 46RE or RH transmissions, your factory one isn't going to work. And near as I can tell, I've been all over online. If somebody does make one, I haven't found it, but you have to make your own cross member to make this thing work. And it's, you know, I was really nervous about it first, but it really wasn't that big a deal. This is actually the stock cross member that I kind of set up to the transmission and cut a whole section of it out. And then I built a scab plate over here, and then this right here is angle iron. It's just a piece of angle iron slipped in there, welded in, and then I gusseted issues with this thing. It holds the transmission well, doesn't slip, doesn't bind, and all you do is drill 2 holes and match this up to the GM truck transmission cross member, and it bolts right in. No, it's pretty good, but yeah, I was looking all over online on this thing and how to do these, and I just kind of had to figure it out because I wasn't getting anything anywhere on it. So, that's what I did. But yeah, if you have any questions about it, or you want to do your own magnum swap to the 46 RE RH transmissions, you can actually do these RE RHs to the 440s and 383s, and actually LA bolts right up. Of course, there's a bell housing difference on the big blocks, but they sell an adapter for those. So, you can probably ask me some tech questions about it. I'm pretty savvy with them these days. This was all a big learning process. All right, guys, I'm going to end the video here, and as I progress things along, when I get these heads off of here, I'm going to strip the heads down and get my other heads from the machine shop. Probably try and do it this week so that I can start moving on the project again, get it back in the car in a few weeks, and hopefully be back on the road by spring, summertime. I'm looking forward to the Louisville Street Rod Nationals here in Louisville. I had a lot of fun at the Street Kana that they had there last year, put on at the American Streetcar Series. I do have a video of my car doing an out of control run. If anybody's interested in seeing that, I'm not going to post it unless I get some requests for it, because it's kind of embarrassing because the car didn't perform all that well, because it was all over the track. But it's entertaining. I can tell you that much now. But all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video